Hi, g'day everyone. Here for the ones who don't know me. My name's Anzac. I'm from New Zealand. So a little bit about my life. So, growing up in New Zealand, my grandparents raised me up when I was young. We lived on a farm, stationed back there, New Zealand. So, from a real young age, living a farm life was learning how to live off the land and just do all these sort of things, what farmers really do, you know, raise stock and all that sort of stuff. So I had a good upbringing from my grandparents. As the years went on, you know, carried on working on the farm with my grandfather and everything. Years went on, the alcohol started coming in and involved and everything, so work all day, come home, back to the house, crack open a few bottles, have a few with grandfather and everybody else. That's how life was back then. Carrying on, a few more years after that, you know, more alcohol, and we started getting into the drugs and all that sort of stuff. Actually grew it out on the farm and things like that. But through all these times, you know, I thought that was just my life. Working the farm, raising stock, getting drunk, having a good time, doing drugs, all that stuff. Carrying on further than that, we never used to go into town a lot when we used to work on the farm. We went into town one weekend, you know, from one street light to about, you know, 20 or 30 street lights. It was quite a big thing for me. So I ended up going into town just about every weekend after that, you know, because I liked the lights and enjoyed the atmosphere which was in the town instead of the country. So just going into town, met up with a bunch of, you know, who were supposed to be my mates, but I got into the wrong crowd. Drinking, drugs, all these other things, you know, like fighting, got into gangs, you know, then had a relationship. I had 3 beautiful kids, but the alcohol and everything else and my friends overtook that, my partner then and my kids. So I swapped my kids for alcohol, drugs, party life, chasing other women and all those sort of things, and hanging out with gangs. That was my life. Came to a point I lost all that. I lost my partner and my kids through the alcohol and drugs and everything. I didn't know all those things were bad until that point. So I left New Zealand. I was pretty weak. I ran from New Zealand. Just hurt. Just ripped me apart. Came into Australia. I was here for about 2 to 3 months, I think it was. And I was still drinking and smoking and everything at the back of my dad's place. He was here for about 5 years. So I carried on with that. One Sunday morning, I sort of woke up at the back of the old man's place, and my son, the youngest one, was standing in the kitchen over the sink, and I saw him in the window. For the 3 months, I was hounding him. I was blaming him for the breakup. I was blaming him for everything. I was screaming at him. I was yelling at him. I was telling him how low of a dog that he was and all this sort of stuff. But it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. When I got up and I started walking towards the house, my son was standing at the sink, and I saw his face in the window. When I was walking, this wasn't my son. He was scared of me, his father. At that point, I didn't even want to see my son look like that again, ever. So I said to my father, I said, we need to go somewhere. I don't know where, but we need to go somewhere. We need to do it now. So, for 40-something years, I was partying with this guy called the devil. The drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. They got their own personal little names, but I found out only one name, and that name was sin. all rolled up into that one. So we came for a drive. We were just driving along the road here. I was driving. I don't know what happened. The car, we just turned into this driveway, came in here, parked up over here. My father said to me, "What are you doing, son?" I said, "I'm going in here. Do you know what this place is?" "I think it's a church." And he goes, "Are you all right?" So anyway, I just parked the car, turned the key off, just opened the door, and I just walked straight to the doors over here. Walked in, and all that time having my son's face, his picture in my head. I never wanted to see my son look like that, or any of my kids look like that. Came in, and I stood at the door. Ripped shirt, long hair. I don't think I had any shoes on. I think my brother Brett can vouch for that. Because he was the first one that came and said hello to me that Sunday. I turned up, came in. As soon as I walked in the doorway, around the front, I swear I could just float to the back of the chairs. Everything just went like that. All the anger, all the bitterness, and all the blame just left. And I swear I could have slept there all day and all night. There was a pastor who was preaching a word that day, and altar call came. I put my hand up, and again, Dad goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." Whatever it is, it's good. So I ended up, I went to the front, and so for 40-something years I was partying with the devil. 2013, I gave my heart to Christ. From that day on, never touched another cigarette, another alcohol, any of those things was sin. I cut it clean off, and that's it. I gave my heart to Christ that day, and He's changed my life. And now I'm fighting against the devil. And we can all do that if we just give our hearts to Christ, because He's changed my life. The blood of Jesus who sets me free, and that day He set me free. When I asked for forgiveness of all my sins, I invited Him into my life and into my heart, and my relationship with my kids, just the picture is brighter, bigger, His smile on His face, like from ear to ear, you know. We have a great relationship, and that's what I have with Jesus Christ, a relationship with Him. Because the blood of Jesus, He sets us free, and in 2 Corinthians, we are changed through Christ, new creation, and that's what we are, and that's who I am. And I thank Jesus Christ for that. And if you're here tonight, whatever you're going through, Jesus Christ is the answer, and He'll change your life. Thank you.